Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Thank you for joining us. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? And we're going to be talking about Lifestyle Focus Friday. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the financial literacy course that you never got. And we're going to touch base on what does that look like? And I'm going to detail it so that I'm going to give you from soup to nuts all the things that you're going to need to make more informed decisions and how our lifestyle focused wealth approach can help you build a safer, more secure, and with fundamental life to help you reach your goals and make informed decisions that are in line with the type of goals that you want to meet. So stick around. I got more information on the inside. I can't wait to talk to you about it. And sit back, relax, unwind, grab yourself a hot cup of tea, and join me on the inside for today's course, the financial literacy course that you never received. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside. I'll see you there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Thank you for joining us for this episode of When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? It's Lifestyle Focus Friday, and we're happy to be here, happy to see you. Thank you for joining us again. And today we're going to be talking about the topic of financial literacy, and we're going to be talking about a financial literacy course that you never received. That's right, the course that they never taught you. You know, in this particular course, in this particular conversation, we're going to discuss some topics, the essentials, such as budgeting, savings, investing, life insurance, and understanding credit. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how our unique approach, our lifestyle-focused wealth approach, breaks down this complex these financial concepts and put it into a practical, everyday strategy that you can use that will empower the way you make informed decisions. And those decisions are perfectly aligned with your goals and your lifestyle. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to refine your knowledge, this is the video that you need to be taking a look at. It has some valuable insights and some actionable tips that I know that will help you build a secure and prosperous future. So don't miss out. Stick with us to the end. And before we jump right in, I just want you to do a few things. Smash the subscribe button. Hit that button below. Let people know that you're here. Let's go ahead and do that. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and share it. And then let's get busy. Let's talk about it. We got some great information for you today. And I want to make sure that you and your friends have the guidance from one of the industry's leading experts and make sure that you can set yourself up for future success, if that's okay with you. If you're joining my show for the first time, thank you for joining us. If you're coming back, thank you for joining us. It's always good to see you guys. I see several of you jumping into the back office, so I see you popping up on the screen right now. And how was your week? How was your week? You know, let me just ask that question. Let me slow down. You can see that I'm really overjoyed by this conversation we're going to have today. I'm really overjoyed by this conversation we're going to have today because I think this is one of those topics that we don't have discussions about. And as we start to share and we start to understand the impact of the information that we're sharing, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are going to be holding your face in shock with some of the things we're going to be talking about. See, The lack of financial education in schools is so significant. You know, there are some issues, some serious issues that affect individuals. You, me, our children. And this needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about, and we're going to talk about it here. Because it gives individuals the ability to manage or inability to manage their financial means. But just imagine if we could do this more effectively throughout our lives, if we could manage our financial tools a little bit better, if we had a little bit more knowledge, we could close that financial gap a little bit easier. But it looks like if we're waiting on government to do it for us, probably not going to happen. It hasn't happened in over 200 years, so why are we still waiting? Might want to start talking to each other and help us to create that gap, shortening that financial gap, sharing that knowledge, and let's take a closer look at the challenges that create this gap. And if you're like me, you're probably going to realize that these challenges aren't really difficult to overcome. So we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into it. And I want to make sure that I don't violate anyone, make anyone uncomfortable. I'm just stating the facts. Okay, that's all we're doing. We're going to report the facts for us today. So if you got comments for me, please do me a favor. Leave a comment down low. Leave it leave it below and let me know that you're there. I'm going to encourage you to put the words takeaways in our comments. That way we know what you're taking away from the context of our meeting and our video today. I mean, it really does help me. It helps my team so that we understand, what is it that you heard? What is it? What's being said that it's going to impact you? Because I think a lot of us start to overestimate our knowledge. And once we start talking, we really find out where our blind spots are. And our goal here is to turn the lights on. When the lights go out, are you ready? We're talking about to the world of people having a lights out moment. So we want to definitely turn the lights on for some people out there today, if that's okay. If that's okay. Well, first, let me say hello to the folks that are already there. Hey, Sam, I see you. Happy Friday. I see you guys checking in back there. Hey, Brandy, how are you? I see you. It's time to grow. Miss Henderson, good to see you. Happy Friday to you, too. Oh, my gosh. You guys are all in the house today. Uh-oh. We got somebody that's had a very transformative week. Brandy, that's good to hear. I love it. I love it. I love it. See, here in Lifestyle Focused Wealth, you got to be part of our community, guys. I'm telling you. Our team of people is so cool. And when you're not alone, you're not alone. And what happens is when we start talking about understanding this course, before I jump into it, one of the things about having a team of people or a community of people is the fact that once you start to think you're alone and you can look to the left, look to the right, or even go on the internet and see that there are other people just like you. They're struggling just like you. They're looking for information just like you. Or maybe they've been through the trenches just like you. And guess what? There's an answer for it. There's an answer for it. There's hope for you. There's an opportunity for you. And once we start to really sit back and think about it, and we start thinking from a world of abundance, how we can manifest all the things that we need to show up in our lives, right? And the more we focus on positive, 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 positive change, the less time that we have to focus on the negative. It's so much more that we have in our daily practices to do, that if we can focus on the positive more and more, I think we affect change. Now, that's just me. That's just me. So we're going to dive into this today because I'm hoping that we can positively change someone and get them into the right place financially, and talk about the importance of financial literacy, which is the cornerstone of my life. You know, I absolutely love talking to adults, business owners, children. It doesn't matter. There's money everywhere. You can talk to people about every topic in the world, and it still involves money. So why is it that we can talk about money and we have the use of money, but we don't have the education of how it functions? Why is that? Ooh, this is a big topic today, y'all. This is a big topic. It's a big topic today. So, you know, I'm going to encourage you to tell your friends that you got a little bit of time. You're going to spend about an hour and 45 minutes with me today. And we're going to talk about it. Okay? We're going to talk about this situation. You know, why is it that there's a limited understanding of the basic financial concepts? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself that question? Just the basics. You know, some of you out there have children. You know, you give your child $30 and watch how fast it goes away. And they can't even tell you where it went. There are some of you out there that have children, and it's the holiday season, and I want to make sure that I say this properly, but if we can't understand, if we have limited understandings of the basic concepts, how are we going to teach our kids? Now we have video games with purchase items built in the video game, where you have to purchase items throughout the video game to get to the next level. And the parents have no clue what they're giving their kids money for and putting it on a card that they can use online to purchase in a virtual world. And they still lack the education to use those same dollars in our real world. Ain't that something? So when we talk about, you know, the limited understanding of basic financial concepts, you know, many students graduate without a solid grasp of essential financial principles. And these principles I'm talking about are budgeting, savings, investing, life insurance, credit management. They lack knowledge. They lack this knowledge, y'all. This lack of knowledge can lead to a very poor financial decisions down the road. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a green thing. It's a human thing. Because as humans, we can make poor financial decisions based on our financial knowledge. If we could just adjust the knowledge and have conversations about accumulating high interest rate debt or failure to save for emergencies or missing out on investment opportunities, these things need to be discussed. Y'all ain't ready for me today. Y'all are not ready for me today. If you understand where I'm at today, give me a thumbs up. Give me something give me a thumbs up. Give me something in the comments, because if I'm not going hard in the paint today, let me know, because we're gonna go hard in the paint today. We're gonna put some people on blast today, because we're responsible. We are responsible for our knowledge. And once we start to think about our responsibility levels, I think if we hold each other more and more accountable, then we'll start to understand that we got to have this conversation, y'all. Because when we're talking about increased debt levels, there are people running around right now, they're worried about debt. But without proper financial education, these individuals may not understand the implications of taking on the debt. Because you hear us say on television, or you hear us say as professionals, good debt and bad debt. All debt's not the same. You got consumer debt or you got leverage debt. Not the same. But when an uneducated person hears the word, all they heard was debt. So this is practically true for student loans and credit cards where, somebody may be taking on too much debt. And as a result of that, many of our young people, they start out their financial journeys way behind in significant debt. And this debt can simply hinder the ability for you to reach your long-term goals before you even get started. But I don't want to beat up debt. I don't want to just beat that up. I also want to say, here's the shift in that conversation. Yes, it is important for us to have this conversation about debt, because you're right. If it's misused, it can put us behind. But let's talk about the positive side. Suppose we start to talk about how you can use this debt as an opportunity, as seed capital to build your business, invest in real estate, to get ahead. That's the part that you're not hearing. All you're hearing is how bad debt is. But then when you get older, you start to get out here and you prepare, you realize that the true situation is many of the wealthy people rather be in debt. Why? Because the interest rates are lower on the debt than the income rates on their income, on the taxable rates on their income. So confusing. You hear these different things. But I think if we just had the conversation so that people can clearly hear the differences between consumer debt and seed capital, then I think most people can figure that out. Oh, this credit card, if it's making me money, this is a good purchase. Maybe I'm going to go create a corporation that's going to bring in revenue. That's a good conversation. That's not a bad conversation. That's why they say student loan debt might not be bad, because the purpose of you going to school is for you to learn a trade. And that trade is supposed to bring back revenue at a higher volume so you can pay that debt off. But that's not what's being said. How about this? The second thing is the inability to plan for our future. If you're not having the conversation about financial planning, it's crucial. It's crucial. It's crucial for securing a stable future. Many people lack these skills, and they lack the skills and they lack the ability to stick to a financial plan. But this can lead to insufficient retirement savings, inadequate insurance coverage, and a lack of preparation for whatever life has got ahead of them. We got a lot of unexpected situations that can happen. Does that make sense? Am I making sense to y'all today? I mean, I'm going in very early. I am going in very early. I am. I really am. I'm going in very early because as I done the study for this stuff over the week, I couldn't help but to be agitated. Because in my mind, it's something simple. And I think for the first time, I really sat in the seat of a financial educator or just an educator. Our school systems. What am I meaning by that is you teach and you teach and you teach. But there's nobody out there talking about what you're teaching. There's nobody holding these things, these items that we're not holding each other accountable for our actions. So when our retirement savings comes short, when we don't have enough life insurance on our families, when we lack the preparation for unexpected expenses, now we can lean on who? A GoFundMe account? Or we can lean on our neighbors and take away from their savings. Oh my gosh, guys. Can you see how this can start going the other way real quick? Can you see how that could cause a problem? It doesn't just cause me a problem. It causes you a problem. It causes our kids a problem. Because if you borrow from someone else and you can't pay them back, then what they needed those resources for, they can't take care of their problems or their situations. And this leads to the next thing. Because of these situations, we start to think about things a little differently. And it makes us vulnerable to scams. There's financial scams all over the place happening right now. Hey, even myself, I've been a victim of that. And I'm an expert. So people beware, be careful. Because when we lack education, these individuals who are not financially literate are more susceptible to financial scams and fraud. Okay, so they may not recognize the warning signs of the scam or may not understand how to protect their personal information or their financial assets. They just may not have it. But the more and more that we start to have this conversation, again, I know back in the day, it was cool not to talk to your kids about money, but it's time that we start having this conversation. It's important that we have this conversation amongst our friends, amongst ourselves, because the one thing I don't want to see is somebody else get robbed. And that's what these scams are. They're about robbing people. They're robbing you of your resources that rob you from having the quality of life that you deserve. Right? I want you to understand when we're talking about all these topics, how they're intertwined. And that's our purpose here at Lifestyle Focused Wealth has always been to talk about what millionaires and billionaires do, but more importantly, look at the holistic programming that we're trying to operate within. Is saying, hey, look, if all these negative things are happening, how is it impacting our mental health? How is it impacting the mental health of the people that are next door, my next door neighbors? Because financial stress is a major source of anxiety for many people. And it does not disparage. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how beautiful you are, or lack thereof. The inability to manage finances effectively can lead to chronic stress. That is a known fact. And affecting mental health and your overall well-being is a problem. Can't y'all see the cycle? This vicious cycle that we're in, if you're watching the news, some of the stuff is going right to your head. Are you seeing the scams? They just talked about people losing a whole bunch of money with Fidelity through a scam. Names that we trust. So if the vicious cycle continues, financial problems are only going to make mental health issues worse. And it's going to hinder our mobility, our economic mobility. And what I mean by that is, without having financial literacy, individuals may struggle to achieve economic mobility. They may not have the ability to understand, or they may not have the opportunity to learn and understand how to leverage these financial tools the way we're talking about, and the resources to improve their economic situation. Because when I'm talking about leverage, or I'm talking about tools, I'm talking about, hey man, how do I use that debit, that credit that we talked about earlier in a more positive way? That's really what I'm discussing. Are y'all following me out there? Ooh-wee, I love it. I love it. Boy, y'all are, am I hitting some points today? Yep. I think I'm hitting the chord today. And when we're talking about when people are coming up short, it's a lot. It's the holiday season. And this is one of the main reasons it happens. You know, when is it going to stop? It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until we decide to be smarter. Until you decide to be smarter. Until you decide to take action. Until you decide to put yourself in a community like this one, Lifestyle Focused Wealth, or our coaching classes, and learn about financial education. I'm going to invite you to join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. I'm going to invite you to come and get more information from our financial literacy workshops. I think all of that's important. I really do. I think all of that's important. These are the things that we have to really pay attention to. Because if we continue to pay attention to it, we can really focus on what can be done. Right? If we focus on what can be done, we can address some of these multifaceted information that we need to be discussing. We need to have this discussion. What can be done? Well, we could talk about incorporating financial education in the school's curriculum. We can talk about that. You can do that. Well, if we were to incorporate financial education into our school's curriculum, then schools should integrate comprehensive financial planning and comprehensive financial education programs to cover these topics like budgeting and savings and life insurance and debt management. That way, a child, once they come out of school, they're ready. So that they're ready, so that they have the ability to make that decision. I'm still here with you. I'm still here with you. So if we have the opportunity to put this stuff in our school systems, how much better will we be? Well, how much opportunity are we passing? You know, because our young, bright minds are all we got in the future, really and truly. And when we really, really think about it, again, kids are using money in such a way. Today, they're buying Ubers. They're making money off of YouTube. They're making money off of social media. So there's a lot of things that's happening. So let me just go back, because I know we had a little glitch in our system, but I want to go back when we were talking about hindering the economic mobility of what we do without proper financial education. Many individuals are going to struggle. And they're going to struggle to achieve this economic mobility, because it only perpetuates the cycle of poverty, and it limits the opportunity for future generations. So what is our goal here? Our goal is talking about, well, if we have a community of people that may not understand how to leverage financial tools, or not even sure about the resources to improve their economic situations are available to them, what can be done? What can we do? What can be done? You know, again, before I go any further, I want to let that sit with you. What can be done? What can be done? You know, when we get back after a break, we're going to talk about, and we're going to address these issues that require a multifaceted approach. And we're going to talk about what can be done, and is it important to us? And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a short break, and I'll come back and I'll talk to you about this and this topic. And I'm sure that you're going to see it the way I have seen it. And I'm sure that these approaches are going to be important and pivotal in our conversation today. Hey, sit back, relax, and unwind. I'll see you in a second. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocuswealth.com. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocuswealth.com. So we're talking about what can be done. What can be done? And I want to just address some of these approaches that we want to discuss, right? When it comes down to what can be done, we can incorporate these financial education workshops in our school's curriculum. We can get our parents more involved, because parents really play a significant role by discussing financial matters with their children and modeling a good financial and strong financial behavior in the home. We can also get out there in the community. We can talk about community programs and these community organizations that offer workshops and resources to help individuals improve their financial literacy. And if you're one of those programs watching this program, please communicate with us. I would love to bring our foundation, our nonprofit organization in and collaborate with you on some financial education workshops. Because the community needs our help. There's more people that need our help than we have available. So also we can look at our policy changes. When I talk about policy changes, see, the government can support financial education programs through their policies and initiatives that promote financial literacy at all levels of education. But it should be part of our curriculum. By improving this, financial education can empower individuals to make more informed decisions, right? It can help them manage their money more effectively, build more secure financial futures. I don't know. In the comments, tell me, how do you feel? How do you feel about the current state of financial education? Tell me. Put it in the comments. I want to know. How do you feel about the current state? Do you think there's anything we can do to help to improve it? Your feedback here will be important, because I want to talk about how we're using our lifestyle-focused wealth approach to explore these key financial education topics such as budgeting, savings, life insurance, investing, and understanding credit. And I want to talk about these just a little bit at a time. Number one, we're going to start with budgeting, because budgeting is the foundation of financial health. It enables us to balance our lifestyle and our financial goals, right? So if that's the case, here's how we can create a budget that aligns with your lifestyle. Number one, track your expenses. See, by tracking your expenses and monitoring all your spending, you begin to understand where your money is going, and then categorize expenses into into what we call essentials, right? You know, housing, groceries, utilities, lifestyle choices such as entertainment and dining out. You want to put those in categories so that we can see where your money's going. Number two, you want to set goals. So if we define our financial objective, like saving for a vacation or building an emergency fund or even investing for the future, It align these goals with our financial desires and what we want to happen. It's amazing what happens to the end results. Right? What happens? Number 3, the allocation of your funds, meaning how do you allocate the money that you are receiving right now? You know, in recent years, these numbers have changed. It used to be the 70-10-20 rule. 70% goes to necessities, 10% goes to yourself, and 20% goes to pay off debt. But today, after COVID, things started to change. So it's more of the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of your money goes to necessities, 30% of your money goes to lifestyle-related wants that you may have, and still 20% goes towards those debts. But as you start to pay those debts down, that 20% that you use for debts starts to go into a different bracket. And so number 4, it leads us into number 4, which is adjust on a regular basis. So when you're adjusting, we're going to revisit and adjust your budget as your income and expenses change. And this has to be the cornerstone of everything that we're doing, because it ensures that you remain effective. Because if we're doing our thing right, you should be minimizing your debt and increasing your investments and savings all the time. Number 2, in our course, and I'm trying to give you what we talk about in our Lifestyle Focused Wealth course coming in 2025, I want to encourage you to enroll. Whatever city, whatever state, if you can get there, get there. Because these are some of the topics that we'll be talking about. Okay? Savings. It's really simple. Savings is the essential as well. It's an essential for financial security and achieving your lifestyle goals. However, it ain't going to get you there. Not alone. Savings is not going to get you there by itself. But here are some ways it can supplement you getting where you want to go. Number 1, create an automatic savings vehicle. Setting up automatic transfers from your savings or investment accounts to ensure that you're saving consistently. That's so important. Instead of waiting until once a month or once every 2 months to put money in or manually take it to the bank, go ahead and set yourself up on a bill pay or a transfer. It doesn't matter if it's $20 or $30 a week. Set it up automatically and let it go so you don't have to think about it. And it's consistent. And before you know it, you'll start having more savings. Number 2, emergency fund. Aim to save at least 6 to 12 months. It says 3 to 6 months normally, but I want to tell you, enhance that 6 months to 12 months worth of living expenses. You want to have that in your emergency fund. And this provides you a safety net for unexpected situations. See how we're talking about these things that's incorporated in your lifestyle. Because we know that life is going to hand us something that we're not expecting. That's just part of it. That's part of it, right? But if we already have that built into our plan, it doesn't affect us that much, right? And number 3, your lifestyle adjustments. Identifying these areas that you can reduce your spending that compromises our quality of life. Simple changes like dining in more often than dining out, or cutting back on non-essential subscriptions that can make a big difference. You may have Netflix 3 or 4 times coming out of your bill pay and don't even realize it. Checking these items out is important. It's important to your savings. Put it this way, if you're not saving, you're helping somebody else save. If you're not saving, you're helping somebody else save. How about that? No one wants to talk about it that way. Nobody wants to talk about it that way. See, because we're having these conversations, I already know how important you financial educators out there are. But people don't want to be sold to. They want to be educated. And that's what the problem is. We don't want to be sold to. Stop selling it. Start talking about the education piece behind it, because these are true factors that matter. Okay? They just matter. They matter so much to me. They've meant so much to me. Number two, we want to talk about investing, but very carefully here. Because the average person thinks they just want to run out here and just start investing. And they only want to hear about investing. Well, it's part of our essentials. Investing is a crucial part of the growing of your wealth and achieving long-term financial goals. So how you invest with a lifestyle focus is this. Number one, you need to assess your risk tolerance. Understanding your comfort level with risk and invest accordingly. See, if you're a younger investor, you might be more aggressive with growth and options. While if you're near more of a retirement, you might prefer to be more conservative in your choices. Why is that? Because you're closer to retirement. And you may not have the ability to recover if we go in a down market. Number two, diversify. Spread your investments across different asset classes, such as stocks, bonds, real estate, and then begin to manage your risk and optimize your returns. These things are important when it comes to investing. Number three, invest in what you know. Consider sectors that you're passionate about and that you understand pretty well. And making investment decisions are more intuitive. And they're aligned with your lifestyle. So if you like Starbucks every morning, you probably drink Starbucks every morning. It might make sense for you to own some stock in Starbucks. If you like to travel, it might make sense. And you use Airbnbs, it might make sense for you to look at investing in real estate. I didn't just say purchase real estate. I said investing in real estate. Those are two different mindsets. But if we can't decode what's being said, sometimes we don't hear it properly. We're making uninformed decisions. Please give me a thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying. Talk to me. Leave it in the comments. Let me know. And number four, when it comes to investing, is make sure we review and rebalance. You got to review the portfolio. You got to make adjustments that stay aligned with what you want to accomplish. Your financial goals and your risk tolerance have to be in alignment. This is important. We got to stay in alignment. Okay? Our next topic that very rarely gets mentioned when we talk about financial education or financial literacy is life insurance. However, life insurance is the key component to financial planning. It provides the security and the peace of mind part. And how it integrates into our lifestyle-focused wealth approach is very simple. Number one, you need to understand the types. Get familiar with yourself. Get familiar with the different types of insurance options available. Whole life, term life, universal life, and then choose the ones that's best fit for you and your financial goals. Number two, calculate the coverage that you need. You need to be able to assess your financial obligations. See, your financial goals have a lot to do with it. It determines how much money that we're trying to recover. So you got to consider factors like income replacement. And that's not, is it for a single person's income or is it for a household income replacement? Debt repayment. Most people know what debt repayment is. It's like this. If I own a house with $200,000 of debt on it, I want to be able to pay the house off if I died. Okay, that's $200,000. But what you might not have considered is income replacement. And what I mean by that is a very simple number here. If I'm 33 years old and I make $100,000 a year, and my natural retirement age is 67, then I have another, 34 more years until I'll retire? So if I were to expire today, how much money would be left off the table for my family? Well, you just simply multiply it 34 years times that $100,000 salary, and you come up with an opportunity cost that's missed for a family of household income. And that number is a much larger number. And a lot of times when people are factoring in debt repayment, they're not factoring in the replacement of income. And this is why having an advisor is so important to you in the early stages, so that you have this knowledge so you can implement your strategy more effectively. And number 3, final expenses, education, retirement, burial. Those future expenses are things that you want to be able to consider. Number 3, incorporate it into your wealth planning strategy. If you're using life insurance as a strategic tool for accumulation and estate planning, some policies offer cash values, and we talk about it here all the time, that can be used for future financial goals and leverage of those goals. And lastly, review. You got to do your annual review. It's that time of the season. It's Christmas. We need to be thinking about scheduling time to review our life insurance coverage so that it remains adequate as our lifestyle circumstances change and our financial goals start to evolve. It's got to match. And that's why it's important that I say, meet with your advisor maybe once, maybe twice a year. It doesn't have to be some huge drag out conversation, but hey, here's an update. We got a new baby. I got a divorce. I got married. My kid's going off to college. My kid's graduated from college. All these different things matter, and these conversations we need to be having. Am I going too fast for y'all today? How are we doing out there? Is this touching you? As you can see, I've done a lot of research. So in doing our research, I want to make sure that, again, that we don't lose you, because most people are already lost. So we don't want to lose anybody, right? Are you all with me? The next topic is understanding credit. And credit management is essential here too, okay? And it's for maintaining financial health and achieving your lifestyle goals. This is how we help manage credit effectively. Number 1, you got to manage your credit, meaning you got to regularly check your credit report for accuracy. You get a free annual report from the 3 major credit bureaus, which are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You can do that once a year, but if you got with some credit professionals or your financial professional, you can actually have it monitored all the time. It may cost you a small premium to do so, but you can see how your movement on your credit is affected. Number 2, learn about credit scores. So understanding what affects your credit score, including your payment history, your credit utilization, the length of credit, the length of time that you've had credit history, these new credit inquiries. So for those of you who are out there that are trying to get credit everywhere, stop it. Because the more and more you get these new credit inquiries, the worse your score tanks. It doesn't look good. You shouldn't have more than 2 or 3 in over a long period of time. So without that information, you don't know. Number 3, responsible credit use. Use and borrow what you can afford to repay. It's pretty simple. Keep your credit utilization below 30%. And that's just the normal, okay? If you can keep it below 30% of your available credit limit, you're pretty much in good shape. Number 4, make timely payments. If you were to make timely payments, pay your bills on time, and maintain a good credit score, you got to avoid the late fees. Those late fees, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day lates, dramatically impact your score over time. And they stay there for a 24-month period of time. So if you don't know that, once again, you could be doing all the things perfect today, but something you did 2 years, 3 years, a year and a half ago may be still impacting your score. Number 5, building a credit history. Start early by being responsible using credit cards. And paying off these cards can make for a much stronger credit history. See, by incorporating these financial literacy tips into your lifestyle-focused wealth philosophy, it can help you get balance out of your life. It can make your life more prosperous. How does that sound? How does that sound to you guys? Because that's really what this is all about. That's really what this is all about. Because if most people don't know, I've had people that come into our industry and don't know, but yet and still they're talking to the public. And all they're focused on is selling. There's just so many points that I want to make sure we just address. And I want to talk about the turning point. And here, I want to share with you a personal story, some real personal stories, because I think when I say it over the internet, or when I say it online, or when people meet me out and about and they say, hey man, I'm listening to your videos. First of all, thank you. God bless you. I love the fact that you're listening to my videos. And if you're just watching, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Let's get that done. Okay? Let's get that done. Stop keeping it to yourself. Share this information with somebody. Whether you're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever the case may be, share it. Okay? We need to get our subscriptions higher. We need to get our visibility higher, because we need to save more lives out here in the street, right? But let me go back to this turning point. The turning point is when we start really focusing in. And I want to share a story with you about a young professional that I once worked with. I still work with, but at the very beginning, her name is Sarah, okay? And Sarah is a young professional woman. And she entered her adulthood with minimal financial education. And what I'm trying to say here is, you don't have to have all the financial education in the world. But despite having a steady job, she found herself consistently stressed out about money. And her credit card debts were mounting up, and she was living paycheck to paycheck. And one day, she just decided, hey, I want to take control of my finances. And she called me up, Mr. Johnson, I got to get this thing under control. So she enrolled in one of my community workshops that focuses on financial literacy. And in our program, we talked about these topics that we've talked about today: budgeting, savings, investing, understanding credit, life insurance. And with this knowledge, Sarah began to see her finances in a different light, from a different point of view. And something like that starts to help a person in ways that you don't even realize, right? So from a budgeting standpoint, here's an example. She started tracking her expenses and creating this realistic budget for herself. And we identified areas that she could cut back on, sacrificing a little bit of the stuff that, without sacrificing the quality of life. There were some things that she could change that really wouldn't affect her one way or another. And for the first time, she had a clear picture of her inflow of money and then her outflow of money. And when we had the next conversation about savings, we set up some automatic savings plans, prioritized her emergency fund so that she would start to focus on 3 to 6 months of having an emergency fund. Each month, a portion of her salary went directly into these high yield savings accounts. And this was consistent. And it quickly built up a safety net for her to reduce her anxiety. So creating that little bit of a cushion, it really did help. And then once that cushion got to a point that we could have this conversation, we started talking about investing. And here is where she started to learn some of the basics of investing. And she opened up a retirement account. She learned to diversify her investments, balancing between some stocks and bonds and aligning her portfolio with her personal risk tolerance and her long-term goals. She was able to understand and start reading her credit reports better. So by understanding how the credit worked, she took these steps to improve hers. Simple. We systematically paid down her highest interest debt and ensured all her bills were paid on time. And gradually, her credit score started to improve. We opened up better financial opportunities for her. She started being able to hear us a little bit differently and start to leverage some of these products and services that I've talked about in a different way. Lastly, we talked about life insurance. That usually is left out of the financial planning conversation. I don't know why, but it is. Once you start to understand the importance of insurance or life insurance and the role that it played in the financial strategy, she purchased her first life insurance policy. And it provides her with a peace of mind, knowing that her family is now protected in case of the unforeseen, right? So over time, and this has been a number of years now, Sarah's financial health improved dramatically. The stress of living paycheck to paycheck was replaced with a sense of control and security. Really, that's what we're trying to do. We want to empower you with this information. She began to set more ambitious financial goals for herself, like putting down a down payment for a house and maybe some other investment properties. And she's even thinking about planning for retirement early these days. It didn't take long. When you look at the broad scope of things, it didn't take her very long. It didn't take her very long at all. So over time, as this started to improve, you got to start thinking about, hey, what is the transformation? What is the transformation that's happening? Because this transformation didn't just impact her bank account. It changed her entire life. And financial literacy gave Sarah the tools to make informed decisions. So paving the way to someone having this stability in this prosperous future is important. See, her journey is just a testament of the power of knowledge and the positive change it can have on you and your life and those around you. So I think Sarah's story is a highlight of how understanding and applying these financial keys and these concepts can empower an individual to take control of their financial lives and leading them to a lasting positive change. Because once you start to make the shift, once you shift your mindset and you start to think about things a little bit differently, you can't go back. You can't go back. And you're not going to unlearn positive change. And if you'd like to dive deeper into conversations like this, do me a favor, hit us once again, subscribe, share this information with a friend, share this video with a friend, tell them to look at it. Or you can go to roncojohnson.com and check us out. I'll be more than happy to have a one-on-one with you. And, this is all about us. This is all about us helping each other get to where we want to go, right? Because if we can do that, this world will be a much better place. Because the importance of financial literacy and education is all about empowerment. It empowers the decisions that you make. And with financial literacy, individuals can make informed choices. And really all we want to do is be able to make our informed choices about how we budget, how we save, how we invest, life insurance, and how we use our credit. And this knowledge helps you to navigate this complex world of financial products and services confidently. If we can do just that, reduce our debt and reduce our financial stress, understand how we're managing our money effectively, it can prevent excessive debt accumulation. That's what we really want to do. It reduces our financial stress. It contributes to our overall well-being. That means you're going to smile more. That means people are going to see your more pleasant side much more. It's also going to allow you to enhance your long-term planning because financial education equips individuals to use these skills today, tomorrow, and deep into the future, including these saving skills for emergencies, savings for your retirement, and how your significant life events are going to be funded, such as buying a house or funding someone's education, your child's education. It promotes the economic mobility. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't think you completely understand by knowing how to use these financial tools and resources. Individuals can improve their economic situations, and we can break these cycles of poverty by building wealth. And that's the key, protecting us against fraud. A solid financial understanding of concepts reduces our vulnerability to be scammed out of our money. It safeguards our personal and our financial information as well. So for those of you who are part of our community, I need you to understand the impact that you're making on one's life. You're giving them financial security. You're improving their financial and mental health simply by reducing their financial stress throughout their lifetime. You've informed them of life cycle choices that aligns with their goals, their savings habits, and enables them to enjoy a more balanced and more fulfilling lifestyle. You've intergenerationally their benefits. It's pretty simple. You've created, because of financial literacy, you've created a situation where an individual can pass their knowledge to future generations and foster a culture that is focused on financial responsibility and success. And that to me is empowerment. It's empowerment and confidence. And this is what financial literacy means to me. And hopefully it means that to you, enabling you to take control of your financial destiny and pursue the opportunity of growing is so important. I want to see you win. And this community wants to see you win. In essence, financial education is a transformative tool that equips individuals just like you with the knowledge and the skill to manage more effectively. So I want to make sure I leave you with that. Today's been a mouthful. I want to encourage you to start taking control of your financial futures today. Join me. Join our group. Our lifestyle focused community needs you, and everything we have and everything you need is still in the room. Hey, that's my time for today. I'm Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. And I want to encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments and invite you to check out our other videos and maybe even comment on some budgeting tips and the things that we will be talking about here in the future. We love hearing your thoughts. So if you're watching this program, please be a part of it. Share your experiences and your insights in the comments below. And if you're looking for practical budgeting tips, don't miss our next episode, our next video, because it's going to be packed with information just like this one that can help you control your finances and achieve your lifestyle goals. Hey, listen, that's my time for today. I want to wish you a happy Friday. I want you to be safe out there and enjoy your weekend. And don't forget, I'll see you next week right here, as I do every Friday at 1 o'clock. Every Friday at 1 o'clock. We'll be on the road, but I will be here. And I look forward to seeing you too. Until next time, so long and peace and blessing.